dropping knowledge on Grambo Bros, talking about plants and how they go. Let's go. From seeds to the cure, we always smoke pure. Nothing but good vibes up in here. We blaze the ganja, keep it fire. Grambo Bros, burning desire. Learn about cultivation, step by step. You can rock out the negativity. Cannabis vibes up in here. Grambo Bros, lines up in it. Where am I bringing light?
Nothing but good vibes up in here. Grambo Grows. Welcome everybody to the Late Night Smoke, the one and only show that is, smoking weed late. I do it late, baby. I got to put the baby to bed. I got to get all my things but my schedule's changed. I used to put the baby to bed and then come do the show. And now the baby goes home on Sunday. I can't deal with the school drop-offs at 7 a.m. Come on. If you guys know anything about Uncle Grambo, he needs a little rest in the AM times. So thank you guys. Welcome to the show. You are in the right place if you are into smoking cannabis, growing cannabis, and living cannabis, because that's what I do. If you guys know me, that's what I do. I'm a professional pothead. I was just bitching at Topicals Kyle. I don't know if Kyle's still in the chat out there. I'm taking 10,000, let me not overstate, 9,000 milligrams of edibles in the last few weeks. And I'm just like, bro, I don't know. But I'm feeling good today. The clock change is amazing. God bless the clock change. Every time I go to line up for the late night smoke, it feels late. When it's wintertime and we haven't set the clocks back, God almighty, does it feel late. But the sun just barely went down. Kyle's still here. Go check out Turpicana Kyle. Hit him up on Instagram. I love hearing that you guys, I just got a message from, I won't out you if you're in Prohibition land, one of the people that are in chat right now, and he just got his Turpicana stuff, and Chunky Nugs just got some. Everyone's getting some. In fact, someone's got something I don't got. Someone was telling me about the apple pie, Kyle. I haven't smoked the apple pie. What's going on? I need some of the apple pie. What are you guys smoking on? That is the question that I always want. And I don't just mean in chat. Put it in chat, but you guys listening after the fact. Leave a comment. What are you smoking right now? What are you about to smoke? What did you just smoke? I'm always interested. You smoking something better than me? I don't know. I don't know if it's possible to smoke better hash than me these days. I got this Turpicana Kyle rosin going down. This is some of the Lemon G13 times Pido. And dude, Kyle, it's as it's aging, it's kind of oxidizing as I've been taking the lid off over and over. He gave me like 4 grams stuffed into this thing, like it's above its capacity. And as it's aging, it's bringing this like funk out of it. I'm tasting Funyuns, straight up Funyuns, just a nasty onion, garlicky, salty tartness. Ooh, it was good before. I'm liking it even more. Raspberry Kush, love that stuff. What do we got there? I got some of that Sour Star. The Gasolina, that sounds nice. Blue Sherbet. Yeah, love it. Toe jam flavor. I don't know if I've ever smoked or tasted toe jam, but I played toe jam and Earl. Legit game. Don't open the packages. Be careful. Hell yeah. Smoking Skywalker. Love it. You guys are smoking some good stuff. I love hearing that. One of the things that I love about my career choice in this world is all the cool people that I get to hang out with and meet. And I was just talking with our guest here before we pulled up the curtain. This is how cool it is to know the lineage of certain things, like to actually meet P Bud, the guy who was the popper. I always call him the inventor, but no one invents weed, as Jaron always says, we're plant janitors. They grow themselves. We just facilitate the actions needed to get them to do what we want. And it's so cool. Dave is smoking that Moose X. Hell yeah. I love that. That's a good lead into what we got today. So I was talking with our guest today, and I was just like, how cool it is to hear the story of how strains came to be, how they got their names, everything about it. I'm a cannabis nerd, and I have a feeling if you're watching the show, you are a cannabis nerd. Our guest tonight is Jeremy from Three's Genetics. If you guys haven't heard of Jeremy before, he's a dude grows staple. He's one of the most smart guys. We did 2 episodes with him back to back, and like we don't prepare. We don't like send the guest questions. He just sat down raw dog style and just like did 1 hour of answering our questions. Stopped recording, and then Banner sat down. We did a know your breeder, and we did another hour of just answering questions. That's a lot of questions. He's I have a theory about the when you're really smart, your hair you're so full of thoughts that it pushes your hair out of your scalp, and yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying, Jeremy.
Yep. It all fell out as soon as I started learning cannabis genetics.
Mine fell out like senior year of high school. I wore a hat for like years and years. And then eventually one day I just decided, because I had long hair. I had hair down to my butt. I was a hardcore metal kid. And so I had long, thick. Like I used to have the skater cut where like I would shave it underneath,
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I had such bad thoughts. My hair killed itself.
Oh, no. Well, something's got to give.
Something has to give, my friend. So before we got to rapping about the show, like I said, before we pulled the curtain up, we were talking about you're smoking on some new stuff that you bred yourself. So before I get too far ahead of myself, Jeremy is a breeder, he's a cultivator, and he is a cannabis is medicine guy, full on breeds for his wife. She's got all sorts of stuff that cannabis helps with, and I'm sure you breed for yourself as well. And you create some of the more unique modern rosin. You're a rosin guy, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Exclusively. You deal in flower, but you're mostly a rosin guy. Concentrate yourself. And yeah, what are you smoking on, Jeremy?
Yeah, so right now I've got some Uncle Laser. So it is the laser jet that I hit with a feminized rainbow kernel #1 reversal. So
hey, I love that rainbow kernel, and I grew the laser jet. Or no, I grew the Moose X. That was the laser jet times the modified moose. Oh, love those jars.
That one. I've got that one.
Son of a bee.
This one.
Son of a bee.
These 2.
It's not done yet.
I've got these 2. That's from the testing. Right. I just finished testing. I just happen to be sitting next to my hash fridge, so.
Well, I'm going to use that as a moment to say, everyone out there that always gives me crap about my weed privilege, just know, like, the crowd I run with, I'm actually like hash poor. Let alone, the homie's got the hash.
Yeah, if I don't have a couple hundred grams in the fridge, I'm like kind of worried about my next harvest. It just is what it is. I'm a weirdo in that regard. I should probably get rid of more than I do or something like that, but I keep it around.
No, it's one of those things, I don't know what got you started smoking herb, but man, the minute it hit my blood as a teenager, literally I'd been struggling with, I didn't know. I was too young and dumb to even know that I was all mentally kind of like had a weird upbringing. And I just lived in this like hyper anxiety state my whole life. And it's just like, and the minute weed hit my bloodstream, I literally said out loud to all my friends, I was like, bro, I think I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. That was 29 years ago, JLS monster.
I started smoking 21 years ago, I think it would have been.
I'll buy your habit a drink.
Yeah, so I've only been clean for I was in the military for just a little bit, and then I got medically discharged, and then I did like a month sober other than that. And then I've smoked weed the entire time. For me, cannabis has just been, to be quite honest, a way to like escape poverty. I was from the Mid East. There's nothing there for jobs, nothing there for anything. And it was the only way I found that I could like make any money. It didn't clue in to be medicine for me until a little bit later in my journey with it. In the beginning, I didn't have cannabis that would have been necessarily good enough to like be considered medicine. It was just straight bricks. It was, I was probably poisoning myself, to be quite frank, but it was the early 2000s. Who knows what was going on.
Yeah.
um, Medicine, it is medicine for sure. But it can be a lot of things for a lot of people. So, you know,
This is the thing, right? Like for me, as I'm trying to get more fit, I don't have any like genetic ailments. I've got a lot of stuff that has just been accumulating as I've just been a not well-minded person. I always told everyone, like my therapist, he asked me, he's like, create a self avatar, right? Like, what would your self avatar be? I'm very open. I talk about my life on this show, and here's what I came up with. I said a brain in a jar with a dick. That's me. I live up here. I like to fuck, but other than that, I live up here. And then when I turned 40, I was like, I want to live in my body. I want to live in my body. And one of the things that's been really tough, I had the surgery a few weeks ago for hernia surgery. And that's kind of why I'm kind of vibing today. People in the chat probably are like, oh, Grambo got shot out of a gun. Because I went with a walk with my daughter and I got some sun and some fresh air. And I was like, whoa, spring has sprung. And I'm one of those guys that winter, I'm a Viking. I hibernate in the winter. I pillage during the summers and I'm in full pillaging mode. And cannabis facilitates that, man. Like after we get done with this show tonight, it's still kind of warm. I'm going to throw on the shoes and go for a jog after this. And, I'm going to take some edibles, then go for a jog.
Nice.
So you and I were talking about everything under the sun, but the last time you were on here, we did like a full hour and we never really got to the idea of like fast flowering. There's this new thing. It's not auto flowers. It's a photo period fast plant. And so we got right pushed up against the wall last time we mentioned it, but this has been something that's been on my mind. We talked about it on Dude Grows a few weeks ago. And then before we click go on the stream, I was throwing out some stuff. I was like, dude, I'm so interested in like just the flowering period. It's like, I learned that like, it's not necessarily dictated by the, like we call it the photo period. And I just assumed that was like photon. So it's like dictated by the light, but it's actually dictated by the dark. And then you were like, oh, I haven't really heard a part like that. And I was like, oh, as Scotty likes to say, we're doing the show. So I wanted to pick your brain about that. What are your thoughts on just pure flowering? Why is it this 12-12 thing is flower? There's all sorts of debate about vegging cycles. Do you do 24? Do you do 18, 6, yada, yada? Do you do the gas lamp technique where it's 5 on, 3 off, 1 on, 3 off, yada, yada? But no one really debates flowering. It's just 12-12 is what we accept. Why do we accept that? What's it doing, Jeremy? What the hell's going on in flower?
You said the dark period is what dictates the flowering. And I would just kind of say, like, that's the same thing as the photo period dictating it. You're just saying it backwards.
Right. That's what I said. Photo period. I was like the photo period doesn't, but that's just my own brain of like photo means light, It's like, it's the light, but it's actually because like if you did a 10-hour dark period, that's going to fuck up flowering. But if you did a 14-hour light period with that 12, it wouldn't hurt it all that much other than effing up your schedule. So that kind of blew my mind.
So I do believe that there are some differences when it comes to genetics on what types of photo periods things can like actually take and still flower appropriately. Right. So like there are, the standard indica plants come from the Hindu mountain range, the just the Caucasus region in general. They are used to having less light. And then like equatorial sativas can flower with more light. So it's a situation where you can flower a plant that's like an equatorial with 13 hours instead of 12, and you can get it to finish a little easier. And then you can even adjust it down to 11 at sometimes to get it to go longer if it's a different type of plant. That might be backwards, but you can 100%, like if you have an indica plant, you can flower it with 11 hours and it will do better than if it was a sativa plant, because the sativa plants, genetically evolved in a different area.
Yeah, okay. Perfect. That's a great way to open the volley of faster flowering. Is that something I wouldn't have ever thought about? Intuitively makes perfect sense. 100% understand it, but it wouldn't have crossed my mind when I'm thumbing through the seed catalog. It's also one of the problems that like this whole indica sativa thing. One of the things I love about Jug Dealers is they're the first like cannabis media kind of group that is like debunking indica sativa. If we're talking plant morphology, oh, I'm with you on
Yeah.
this indica sativa conversation. But effect, brain chemistry, and effect of high,
Well,
I sometimes, and now I don't disagree always, but it's like people make these things. I only smoke sativas, and I go, well, then you don't smoke good weed. What are you
yeah.
talking about? You only smoke sativa dominant hybrids. Is
Yeah.
that what you're saying?
See, I think when you're talking about hybrids, that is how you should talk about it. When you're trying to talk about like something that you would maybe consider a land race or something that was like, from the ditch type of situation, indica sativa does kind of have a more general label to those types of things. You're not going to get a wide variety of effects in hybridization because they're all just very inbred. They are like a patch of inbred plants. There might be a lot of different expressions and everything, but you're going to have just like you know uh, a very muted effect in comparison to modern cannabis.
Yes. So
Uh,
as
So
we're
like
talking about, oh, keep going. No,
so
please.
like when you've got a ruderalis, like an actual plant that wants to be a land race that is like uh, f- initiates flower automatically or will initiate flower based on like being root bound or something like that. Like these plants are closer to autoflower than photoperiod plants are. They're like closer to the genetic start, kind of, right? And when you cross those with a photoperiod, you can get those fast flowering plants inside of the populations. It's just a matter of like, not everything's going to be fast flowering. So like let's say you wanted to make sour diesel into a fast flowering plant. Because sour diesel is a 70-day plant, a lot of people don't want to take it all the way to the finish because it's, 10 weeks. Nobody wants to flower 10 weeks anymore. Everybody's like 8 weeks. Um, so there is an incentive in the market to have a fast flowering sour diesel. So you could take a sour diesel and cross it with an autoflower. And then when you hunt those seeds out, 50% are going to be photo period and 50% are going to be autoflower. And then within that 50% of photo periods, a I think it's going to be about 30% of those plants, 25 to 40 range, are going to be faster flowering plants. Now you're also gambling whether you find something that represents sour diesel in those fast flowering plants. Because if you have, what if you're working with a sour diesel hybrid and you don't have access to the pure sour diesel, or the autoflower you're using is very, very hybridized? It might have a lot of phenotypical expression available to it when it crosses. So if you don't hunt 100 plants and then have 20 to 30 fast flowering plants on the photo period to look through, you might not be hedging your bets with enough numbers to find a fast flowering plant that represents
Ah,
sour diesel, because you
because
have to
you're
find the
you're doing
sour diesel in the fast
you're rolling
flowering
multiple.
population to
Uh,
then S1 on itself to be able to, you have to do it twice to get it away from the autoflower again. And then you can sell those seeds, because if you just S1 at one time, it still has autoflower in it. So it'll have about 25% autoflowers come out in the next generation. So you have to S2 it, and then you can have about 7% or so. And most people find that somewhat acceptable. If you do it to S3, you'll have about 1 to 3% autoflowers in the selection, as long as you're selecting a plant that doesn't start to flower based on stresses, but still finishes fast. You're gambling every single round if you can find this. That's why you
it's
should be
it's
skeptical of
like an
people saying,
exponent. It's like
yes,
it's yeah. Every variable you want inside that final flower is fucking exponentially increasing the unlikelihood that you're going to be able to find that thing. That's
Exactly.
interesting. That's why we need more people like you out there, Jeremy, popping these mass quantities of beans, doing these pheno hunts, man.
So like,
So what's the
if somebody
no,
is
go ahead.
trying to sell you a sour diesel fast flowering plant, you could be skeptical because they're but if somebody just selling you fast flowering things that they bred, that's very possible that they could have just went 3 generations choosing the best ones out of those generations and produced good fast flowering photo periods. But if someone is trying to tell you they recreated something in fast flowering form, you have to really trust that breeder to, especially if they're charging a lot of money. If they're charging, $10 a seed, give it a shot. Who cares? But
so what would you say? What are we talking as far as fast? Let's throw some numbers out there, like average normal photo period plant. How many days
it would
versus a
probably
fast
be
flowering?
shaving
How many
2
days?
weeks off of the original photo period. So like, you could get a sour diesel that was at 8 weeks. Yeah, it's not crazy. But like getting a true sour diesel that actually smells like sour diesel at 56 days, and it's not like kind of sweet with like just a generic like the GMOs and the sours and the chems, man, when they go 64 plus, they change every day. Like OGs, all of these things just require just a little bit of time to let the plant mature on the vine. And some plants, they are what they are. Their heads ripen, and if you don't get them cut down at 56 to 64 days, you're losing potency because the heads will start to shrivel up. But some plants, like a GMO, its heads will just swell and get cloudy and stay cloudy for weeks. Like 3 weeks straight, GMO will have cloudy heads. So you can harvest it 64 days. I've seen people harvest GMO at 56 days and still get really good yields. It's just not as potent. And the flavor is kind of like one note. And then you take it just 2 more weeks, and then all of a sudden it has like that garlic and that onion instead of just like Kim. It's just different. So
Interesting.
the difference is actually having a mature terpene expression at 56 days is the real
So
thing.
we talked about the nighttime daytime cycle that triggers that. That's common sense. Everyone knows that's day one stuff. So I never really thought about what triggers that is done. You know what I mean? Like why is it some genetics have to go X amount of time before it's ripe versus another? Is there a mechanism that's doing that? Like obviously it's cultivar dependent, strain dependent, that's what it does because it's what it does. But what actually ripens a plant? Once it starts flowering, what's going on?
I don't I've never actually had anyone ask me that question.
Yeah, because I would have never thought to ask it until you just got me there, and I go, huh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so the oxidation is what's occurring when the head turns dark, like it's oxidizing. So I would maybe think that the individual phenotypes have thicker gland walls on the heads, and it allows it to resist the UV and the heat and the things more than something with a thinner head, perhaps. That's completely hypothetical, but
right.
I
These are the things. And I would say in these moments, if you're in the comments and you're some botanist motherfucker with a horticultural degree, leave a comment. What are your thoughts? Even if you don't have a degree, let us know your thoughts in the comments. And hit that subscribe button, you bastard.
Yeah, I would say the primary driving factor for the finishing time is genetics, with environment right behind that. Because I know heat can 100% oxidize and make plants, their heads closer to the lights will be red, like they'll be mature, and down under the plants at the under canopy, all of the larvae will not have mature heads on it. So I think it's a lot to do with the UV from the light is oxidizing the heads.
This is what I come from, not necessarily a mathematic background in like education, but just in philosophy of mind and hobby. I'm a hobbyist. Like I love math. I can't read. I'm dyslexic, but I was always good at math. And I've always been obsessed with like for anyone that's a fan of physics and has ever studied like Isaac Newton will be familiar with the 3-body problem. right? All of the laws of physics are calculated with two bodies going around each other. The minute you put the moon into that equation, everything spirals out into chaos, and it's essentially uncalculable with three bodies. So when you start putting 8-9 variables into an equation, and it makes me think of like now, because we're talking about like the cuticle size of the trichome head, and it's like, well, now people are selecting for washers and blasters, and now we're selecting for flavors, flowering type, extraction methodology, shelf stability, all these things. Like, how the hell? Thank God there's a lot of us. And that's why I said more people. First of all, you need to subscribe. You need to follow JLS Monster on Instagram, and then follow me on Instagram. What the fuck? I'm over there. I'm a guy. I'm a person. I'm wired today. I'm smoking some of the lemon G. It's very uppity. I've been loving it from the Diamond Mine here in Denver. Shout out to the Diamond Mine. He's a good
cool
guy
dude.
out there.
He's a cool dude.
Yes.
His grow is wild, man. Seeing his beds get pinned down like that and seeing how he does it is so unique.
Go follow the TDM extracts just to go. I thought it was a scrog. This man stakes his plants so where he has the most like thick canopy I've ever seen in my life. And I go, hey, hell of a scrog job. And then you look at it, it's like, wait, there's no scrog.
You know what?
Oh, man.
I really wish he'd show them at harvest, though. He always shows you when he's resetting, but he never shows you. I don't get to see. I don't know. He's a cool dude. He knows what he's doing, but I just would like to see more of his garden.
Trade secrets. That's what's so weird now is like companies like Green Dot here in Colorado, your strains are becoming your IP. It's like, it's your intro. It's the Super Mario bro. You know what I mean? Like Nintendo made Super Mario Brothers, and you got, and now it's a weird world, right?
You know, when people don't show their grow, I usually assume they have problems.
Well, whatever he's doing, the final product is fine. I got this. I got an ounce from him just because I was like, dude, I wanted like a gram or two, but I'm a lemon G nut. And so he's like, yeah, I only sell it in ounces. And I was like, well, no cheese curds this month for Grambo. I love cheese curds. I'm a big cheese curd fan.
I always love watching his videos on Instagram, though. He does make some of the like cleanest looking butane hash I've ever seen. Like it's I don't know. It's just the terpene fractions are like water almost.
It's insane.
Yeah.
In fact, it's borderline annoying because every fucking day it's got to be stirred. It's got to be re-put back together.
Well, I mean, I think they used to say Cadillac problems. You're driving a Cadillac, but you got to replace Cadillac parts.
You son of a bitch. That's exactly what it is. God damn it. Yeah, look at me complaining about the best. But I'm an equal opportunity smoker. I was becoming more of a rosin guy, and then Gabe from Jug Dealers essentially like he dropped the bomb on me where he's like, people don't like hydrocarbons. Terpenes are hydrocarbons. And I went, oh shit. Oh no, I better look into this BHO thing and figure out what's going on there. You're predominantly a rosin guy. It's not about fast flowering, but it's all things smoke and cannabis related. What's your take on rosin versus resin?
I got some BHO right there.
Hey, it's funny. It's a different color, right? It's got that fucking like baby food squash color. Yeah, totally could tell, like right off the bat.
Yep.
Can I ask, like, what does that? Why do things look different? Is it just that the heat? Because the heat, it doesn't make it darker always like that. Rosin was very white.
So if I had like a full spec rosin that was a little bit more mature, it would look a little bit closer to that BHO. It does get a little bit more orange and stuff like that. Some strains are more orange. I'm breeding for rosin plants generally, so I'm selecting plants that tend to look like that. If it looks a little darker when it comes out, I tend to not select that mom and pass it on in the genetics, because I had like a Kim F2 that I was breeding with for a second, but it did kind of have a shade darker of hash, and it was like, just like cardboard, almost brown. Like it was nice and real nice, but it was just not as visually crazy as everything else is on the market.
Like I said, I'm smoking on this. It is like dark brown. You know what I
So
mean? And it
that's
is some of my favorite stuff ever.
so
That's like a 2015 thing. If it's dark, don't smoke it. I don't think that applies anymore.
So yeah, no, it doesn't. But the market does kind of shop with their eyes, and Instagram is a lot of eyes, and
That's what we're here to do, is to educate. And so
and
all of you that do that, stop doing that.
so I don't market a lot of hash. I'm not trying to like sell hash. I like breed and make seeds. So like, if I'm showing you like a hash that looks like a bee, you're going to assume the hash you grow from my seeds looks like a bee. So I have to like select the right plants for the current market while still like not bowing down to like the candy gods and stuff. I still have to kind of like keep my soul to me. But like,
Right.
I only grow for hash. I don't dry any plants at all. So, and I hunt seeds. I hunt a lot of seeds. So there are some things that don't wash regardless. So, that BHO was, I think member berry times strawberry guava that I made.
All right.
Didn't find a single one that would wash in the entire bunch. I think I hunted through 12 or 15 in that hunt. Wasn't a big hunt.
Wow.
But I didn't find one that would do above 1%. Like they were all just the wettest plants
1%.
ever. And I got BHO made out of it. And I think I got like 5% returns back on it. Like it was pretty good. And
that's my only problem out there when people do the more searching based on that sort of stuff is I go, man, a lot of my favorite strains are greasy. So that's why we got with don't hate on BHO. We need BHO to preserve some of these genetics in concentrate form.
So, the reason I kind of do rosin, to be fair, is because I can't do BHO safely. Well, I mean, I probably could, but it would take like just a little bit of kind of learning how to do it, and I don't know how to do it. So there's just apprehension when it comes to like, you see the news and houses blowing up and people like messing up, and then you like kill yourself, or you just can't win, right? So the rosin is just such a more safe way about going to extract things that I kind of lean towards that. If
I'm
if it
showing
was
here
legal,
on if people want to find you, we're about a halfway point. So anyone that's in here right now and has to go use the bathroom, where can people like that? It's Three's Genetic Reserve, right? If people want to come try, and I can vouch, man, I have access to all the best genetics in the world, essentially. With a phone call or an email, I can track down anything. And with my limited growth tent space, I grew your gear. Every time you showed up to the bakery when I met you, hey, there it is, that rainbow kernel. I vouch for that rainbow kernel. I've smoked a lot of rainbow kernel and Colonel Chem from JLS Monster. That's your Instagram name, and it looks like your website might be down over there. Three's Genetic Reserve is down.
So the website now is tgrmerch.square.site. It's a temporary link on my profile. Man,
right.
I got my payment processing taken down.
So go get a small URL for that thing. That's a insider tip on air for you. I've been converting a lot of things to the small URLs. They're amazing. I don't even know how they work, but they work.
Interesting. So I'm gonna get the site relaunched soon. If anybody needs any seeds, just shoot me a DM.
Go over Three's Genetic Reserve. You got it. We're all shadow banned, so you got to type it in pretty much exactly.
Yep.
Three's spelled out with letters.
My partner's profile. I'm not Three's Genetics Reserve. I'm JLS Monster.
Yes, sir.
So he is. So I was invited to join Three's Genetics Reserve in 2020. The original breeder kind of quit breeding and wanted to like start building out hash rooms for big grows and stuff like that. So he's currently working with Access Rosin, building out a couple big grows in Oregon. So he kind of let me take the reins and let me start doing all of the breeding for his company. I was kind of just white label seed maker. And then I kind of just started releasing them under this banner. So, my
I like
seeds
this
were,
guy. He's like, I don't know. It's just dank.
yep.
I don't know. He's just good weed, man.
Yeah, so he's going to be the character I use for all of the kernel stuff coming up.
I love it.
Here's a little sneak peek. So I've got a dirty taxi that I'm going to use from Top
All
Dog.
right.
And
All right.
did you ever play the Dirty Taxi game back in the day on Dreamcast?
Crazy Taxi.
Crazy Taxi. Okay. So I'm
Yes,
going
of
with the
course.
Crazy Taxi theme, and it's going to be the Dirty Colonel, and it's going to be that character driving a taxi cab from theme like the Crazy Taxi with a bunch of Threes Genetics spray painted logos all over it. And then I've got another one coming out that's going to be a cowboy colonel, and it's going to be that dude with like a cowboy hat on, and fucking, it's silly.
Yeah, the Dirty Taxi. That's one of Banner's favorite at the bakery. He was growing the Dirty Taxi there for a while.
And then the cowboy that I'm using is going to be Cowboy Kush BX1 from Miners Melts Genetics.
All right.
Ooh man, he's a fire breeder. He just got 12th place at the hash competition at Cannabis like 3 days ago. Dude, he's killing it. Stu, he's up local, maybe like an hour away up the mountain. Real cool dude. Definitely support him if anybody doesn't know who he is.
Hell yeah. So one of the things to round it, the steering wheel back towards the fast flowering, that is an opportunity to pick your brain on, is the flower initiators, the red light. So we're talking how to get faster flowers with genetics, picking things that are maybe indica, a broadleaf drug variety, as Jaron and Gabe like to say. I think that cannabis botany refers to it not as indica and sativa, but broadleaf and narrowleaf drug varieties of cannabis sativa. And fucking, so it's like picking an indica could speed up your flower. Picking a fast flower that you dig the terpene profile of will really speed up your thing. But something you can do in veg and as well as flower is this red light flower initiator. You're one of the only people I know that's running it in the daytime as well. I know a couple people that do the 15 in the beginning, 15 at the end. And just can I ask you, as far as the flower initiation, like for people that don't, you want to explain to everyone like what is the science behind why you would turn on a red light early and late? What's the reasoning behind that?
You're mimicking the actual like sun itself, because like when you look at the sun when it's coming up over the landscape, it's always like a little bit more red in the morning, like red and orange in the morning, and then kind of when it's above head, it's a more of a white bluish light around you. So you're just mimicking the world in that regard. It's just like a fine tuning of the spectrum in that. So I do run the far reds the entire time. It's been what I've always done. My plants do finish pretty fast, but I haven't seen anyone breeding fast flowering plants that are also using these like nuanced new flower initiation techniques that we do. So like sprouted seed teas or coconut powder to initiate flower faster, stuff like that. So just using hormones.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of using coconut powder or sprouted seed teas in the beginning of the
I know
flower
lots of people
initiation?
that do sprouted teas, but I didn't really know. I thought maybe it was a microorganism sort of thing, or
So it's like when you make a sprouted seed tea, it's like an enzymatic hormonal extraction. So you're pulling like chemical mechanisms out of those plants to put on your plant to speed up their ability to initiate flower. Coconut powder is also a great plant additive for the flower initiation. But I do have some hesitancy when it comes to like cutting the flowering point too low on plants, because you can always breed a plant that will finish earlier and then use like what's the Jug Dealers that green
the winter frost. That's exact. I was just thinking that
no
as
but
you were saying.
They have another
Oh,
product.
is it the lightning start maybe?
Yeah, lightning start. They have
Yeah.
that does make flower initiation go faster, because I was
Right.
using it. I used their entire line on a recreational scale, and we saw our strains side by side, and they did finish faster with the new Millennium products.
Nice.
So using something like lightning start in conjunction with winter frost at the end, um,
Well,
if
go over
you're
to Jug
using
Dealers.shop. I built this site. I build their websites. So I'm always like, go over to my site. Tell them Grambo sent you. Go over
nice.
there. Jug Dealers.shop, you sons of bitches.
Nice. I just built the Threes website. That was a fun thing to learn how to do.
It is a thing that you have to learn how to do. It's
Yeah.
if
So,
you if you want,
I
I'll
just
keep going.
think that if you are going to use all of the tricks, I feel like you're going to miss out on something. I think that there is something to, just think about how I was talking earlier about how, like, the GMOs or the sours, there's this ripening point at the end of their cycle that things like change rapidly. And, if you, they never smell like that previously. Like, so, like, in the beginning, they'll smell sweet for the most part. Some plants kind of have like a funk to them, but for the most part, there's like a generic sweetness for like the first 5 to 6 weeks for most plants. And then they kind of like start to mature and do some things. Um, if you have an 8 week plant and you can cut, 2 days off of it with lightning start and 3 days off of it with winter frost, and then you can cut a week off of it with UV light, and it's a fast flowering plant, or so, it's like, are you are we doing too much? And are you getting like a generic terpene at that point, or can you even get a matured expression of the plant?
Here's the thing. Probably, but god damn it, it makes me want to find out. I want to do a community challenge to see if we can get like 10 growers to all compete. How flower, like, start with fast genetics, get the far red, put it in there, get the lightning in the winter in there, like every trick in the book. How fast can we get it but still being mature? Amber trichomes, you know,
Well,
10%
so
amber minimum before harvest.
I've seen, like, my modified moose is the one that I have that finishes the fastest. And to be blunt, so I know that, like, the modified moose in my system finishes in like 48 to 52. 52 is like 3 to 5% amber easy. Like at 48, it's like you're starting to see amber around, and it's mostly milky. Like, you could pull the trigger if you wanted to. It really depends on like your nutrient situation, whether like you planned everything out right and they're ready to harvest at 48 days, or if you would rather give them a little bit more time to senesce and try to go to 52 days and have a little bit less chlorophyll to have to like burp out if you're drying the plants or whatnot. But like,
Mm,
if you know the plant's going to finish at 48 days and you feed them appropriately in that regard, so like every 7 day cycle is like a 5 day cycle instead of a 7 day cycle, and then you plan everything out right, um, the plant will be done at 48 days in my system with the far reds and everything like that. But if I was to use the winter frost and the lightning start, uh, dude, they don't smell near the same at 42 days as they do at 48 days. They're like berries at 40, at like in the week 6, and right at the end of week 7, they're like starting to smell like cheese. So it's like, and the later you go, the weirder, cheddarier it gets. So it's like,
mm.
I just feel like you're like missing it. And I'm just really curious if you can still have a matured trichome head and the compounds inside of the head are different still. Like, maybe you
Right.
can get sour diesel to finish at day 64, but is the components inside of it the same as if it finished at day 70?
Right.
I'm just not.
That's the question, because you could just cut a plant down and call it done, but is it fully mature? Has it converted all that? Because was it starts as CBGA and then starts degrading down there to CBD, THC, kind of rounds out with CBN. Always kind of blew my mind how the bro science was kind of right on that one. It's like amber terps make you more sleepy, and I was like, ah, bullshit. And I start learning the actual chemistry of it, and I go, huh, sons of bitches were kind of right.
Yep. Yeah, it's weird. I actually, at the last farm I was at, I was breeding these CBG plants that just never converted their CBG into THC.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it was weird. I had them.
So with that, you'd extract just the CBG as kind of like a non-scientific isolate almost. That's interesting.
Yeah. So the thing that was going on at that farm was they were a THCA farm, right? So
yes.
what you do is I can make rosin, and my rosin will test, between 2 and 4% THC, and the rest is THCA.
THC, yes.
Sure. And that's, as long as it's less than like 3% or something like that, it's federally legal currently under the Farm Bill. So all you got to do to a gram of rosin that's 4% THC is add a little bit of CBG to it, and it'll pass testing. Whoa, so all these CBD farms have been breeding CBG plants to cut their hash with. So, I mean, that might not have been why they started breeding them, but that's how these people are using these plants.
I'm not a hater. This is one of the things, like all the stuff that everyone hates about the modern industry and all the direction it's going. Am I a dick for being like, yeah, from day one, the day it legalized in Colorado, I was like, this is where we built a wheel and then we pushed it. And for the first couple meters of this journey, that was real fun. We had the backpack days, we're selling our harvest weeds, amazing. And then it's building up that speed where it's unwieldy and only these titanic forces can do it. We had an interesting guy on Jug Dealers the other day. He holds like 30 licenses, like 20 licenses in different states and everything. And then you hear the guy's story and I go, well, shit, man, I'm glad it's you. Because he's like a Grateful Dead stoner that's been cultivating the plant for 30 years and just like ass ended. He's like, I guess like I won one, I won another. And all of a sudden I was doing good. So they gave me more. And I really preached on that episode. If anyone watches the Jug Dealers, it's not going to be this Tuesday, but the one after that. I got a little bit emotional and I was kind of preaching like, dude, you were just some fucking guy. You were just he weighed 500 pounds at the time. The dude lost like 250 pounds in the last few years. He's looking good. And he was just a fat wonk, hippie pot smoker. And then like, he just decided one day, I'm going to become the change I want to see. And he stepped into the industry and he just kept like raising and raising. And I go, fuck, man, we need more of you, bro. And so everyone out there watching it, I want to be inspiring. A guy like Jeremy, you're just a guy. Like you don't have like some crazy scientific background. You're one of the best breeders and best hash makers I know. You're self-taught. All you need is in poker, they say a chip in a chair and you can win. All you need is a good attitude and a little bit of curiosity. And you can grow the best weed on earth. You can draft laws. You can do all sorts of things in this world.
Dude, it's fucked up. I went to college for 6 years. And all I did was use my Pale grants to buy more weed to sell weed at college.
Well, you learned your trade. Going to college. Technically, you still learned your trade. This is the industry you were going into.
I did not know that at the time, but yeah, I had no idea at the time. I moved to Colorado and had never grown a plant before. Wow. Not even like a garden, not even like a flower. I got a job and just at a rec grow, and they threw me to the wolves.
As they do.
Yeah.
As they do.
Yeah.
And once you get into those wolves, you either just don't care or you're going to figure it out and learn like, what can I do to actually like make this work, And
I care about everything.
You chose the light path,
I have never encountered something that I didn't care about. If I wanted to engage with it, I tend to like go in on everything. Like, I wanted to kind of like get a computer. So I built a computer from scratch. I needed a website. So I built a website.
Yes.
I like to grow. So I started breeding my own seeds.
You and Turpicana Kyle, you're two of my favorite guys because I'm a jack of all trades. I remember when I went to 5-8 and met with the Jug Dealers team it wasn't even the Jug Dealers team back then. They were called Ready, Set, Grow. When I originally hooked up with them, I was like, "No, we can't. That's algorithmic discoverability. Like that's there's no traction there." And fucking yeah, I told them, I was like, "Oh, I can build websites. I can do your YouTube channel. I can help with your marketing thing. I can streamline this." And they're like dubious. They're like, "Who does all this?" And I was like, "Dude, of me and my friends, I'm like the laziest. Everyone looks at me like I'm some fucking, crazy, Matt." So I'm always going, "No, dude. Compared to like you, Kyle, yeah, Scotty Real, lazy, man. Scotty's got a new product coming out. He's got a new silica product. I don't know if that's a spoiler or not, but that'll be hit." And I go to the bakery and he's in there. He's like hands in the stuff. He's testing. He's got his whole grow is like 24 different individual test things, and they're all marked and hand things. And I go, "Fuck, I'm lazy. Step up my game." I'm inferior bald. I feel like an inferior bald right now.
I mean, your video is so crisp, though.
Well,
Scotty is.
I'm AI. I'm AI, bro.
Every time I go to the bakery, Scotty's always pulling me in and showing me like all the little tags with like, I got this many dots in this. He is testing. He's trying to make his products as good as they can be. So,
yes.
Yeah.
I respect it. That's what I love. I love stand-up comedians because they're self-starters, and I love the crew that I hang out with because no one like this channel I'm doing, the show you're watching right now, I don't make a nickel except for all you GramBoard members, everyone. Oh, I also will not make any money from that. I keep all the money that all the members, it costs $5 a month. You get 4 post shows, a bunch of bonus content and everything, hanging out with me just in life in general, and supporting me as I go on this journey for $5. Join the GramBoard. And I love the guys like you are out there doing it. Freeze Genetics, you guys got to get this stuff. I grew it. You're also a UFC when we talk UFC and fighting with you, your knowledge goes as deeper on that. That's another thing I respect about you. I consider myself a Renaissance man. I know a lot about a lot. And
I've watched every fight card since 2005. Everyone. I watch The Ultimate Fighters. I watch the Dana White Contender Series. I watch LFA. I watch all of it. Literally, I watch every single thing I can consume that's MMA. They say the average career fan of UFC/MMA is like 3 to 5 years, and then you kind of like have to quit. Like it's something about like watching violence like that.
Yeah.
Man, I love it.
It's because you're so mild mannered, dude. Like you're such like a nice. You never think that like I think, oh, he's probably like tending to daisies at night. No, he's watching murderers.
I mean, man, I've got a scar where I got pistol whipped one time behind my neck. So I mean, I've definitely. I'm not a fighter, but I'm a traumatized individual like most Americans. So, violence just kind of like scratches that itch for me for some reason.
Fair enough.
And, I just, I like to consume content for whatever reason. And the UFC has like really been a content machine.
It's funny to me because I never was into MMA ever. I liked hockey. And I never all I watched was hockey. I didn't watch any other sport. And then I started doing jujitsu last year. And like I started, now when I watch MMA, it's like, oh, I get it. I took a little boxing as a kid. Then I understand the ground game. And I go, okay, I'm starting to see the game going. And I'm the same way. Traumatized human, just like weird. I laugh. I just spend my whole class in jujitsu laughing my ass. I go, look at that. He didn't want that to happen. And it just happened. There ain't no lies there, buddy.
I think I'm actually going to try to go to school to be a referee.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it and like maybe doing it or doing judging, just one of the two. I think it would be kind of what I would be into, getting to see the fights like up close. That'd be awesome.
You got to the reason that people think that I'm so busy, and I am pretty busy compared to your average citizen. I'm fucking Elon Musk. I'm going, but compared to my busy friends that are doing stuff, I'm fairly lazy. But the only way it works is if you're passionate. You know, I worked for a sleep education company, doing YouTube, like exactly what I do for Dude Grows. I did it for this Better Sleep company. And bro, I hated it. Every paycheck was just like a fucking like, give me the money and F off, you know. Whereas like Dude Grows, like, oh, I love it, you know. Whereas Guru quit Dude Grows because like that's not what he's into. He's nature. He doesn't want to be in a dark room editing. I love dark rooms, bro. I'm in a well lit dark room right now.
Yeah, I can usually tell you most fighters' careers. Like I can tell you who they fought. Sometimes I can even tell you like what event and where it was. It just I have this weird thing like where I can remember strain lineage. I can remember fights. I just you know I've never done jujitsu a day in my life, and I can tell you 90% of the submissions and the transitions. I know most of the rubber guard stuff.
Be my coach. Will you coach me?
No, but I can cheer from the sidelines.
Mm.
You know, I'm passionate about the things I like. So that's kind of how it kind of comes out in cannabis.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to like present something and worsen the cannabis gene pool. You know what I mean? So like when I hunt some stuff out, if it sucks, it just kind of goes in the side pool. I don't give it out. So it's just like, you know, I don't know if I could even be a good enough referee or judge to like better the MMA world, because like currently the judges in MMA are like a shit show. Some of them literally don't know what they're looking at, as per what the comment section on some of these posts say. Like there are straight robberies throughout boxing and MMA.
Wow.
And
Crazy.
you know, a lot of people think that it's people getting paid off to like judge the fight one way versus the other way, but you know, Occam's razor just says they're incompetent. So, you know, perhaps I could bring some more competency to that.
When you say that, it reminds me of the DGC Cup. You know, the only way they debated forever on different ways to judge that thing, and it just came down to fucking let the people that smoke it just have tokens, and we accept the risks of whatever politicking or whatever goes on there, but we trust people to be honest. It's hard to find good judging. You know what I mean? Like, as we do an event in dgccup.com, you guys should go get tickets. You're going to be at the Cup. You're a local boy.
Yeah. I still need to buy my ticket. I keep forgetting. I think I need to look at what I have available. I may enter the hash competition. My guard, I think
this is something Kyle could speak on. For those that don't know, DGC Cup has always been a flower cup for the most part. There was concentrates back in the day, but pretty much always a flower cup. And this year, Saturday is flower. And for the first time in my history with the crew, Sunday is concentrate cup. And I was a little bit nervous because like growing good flower, you know, all my friends can do that. Make amazing hash? Well, only a handful of my friends can do that.
Well, so my garden is getting harvested. I think it's like the day before the cup, or maybe like the day after the cup. So it's just like the calendar does not work out for me to be able to bring like something that I would truly know I was going to win with.
And I'll say, just because I saw Kyle there in the chat, he's running it, and I found out that it's not BHO or rosin cup. It is hash, it is dry sift, it is bubble, BHO, it is run what you brung. And I would be that fascinates me even more, because it's like, I wonder what'll win. I wonder if a good dry sift, you know, like how are we judging it? I'm gonna have to get Kyle back on soon and just talk.
You know, the one thing that I kind of thought would have, I'll just kind of say it here, so because I'm not going to do it, but you know, I saw it that they were going to transfer the hash to a DGC jar so that everything could remain anonymous.
All right.
I think that is a tricky situation, because if I was to enter, you know, like full melt bubble hash, there is no way you're scraping that off the bottom of that jar to transfer it to another jar.
Right.
Without ruining my hash. So it's like, you know, I could enter a half ounce full melt and make the competition redo how they change, like how they enter the cup, because like the Ego Clash makes everybody buy the same jar, and you have to enter it in that jar, or if you show up with a different jar, your hash gets thrown to the side and you don't get to enter. Be an adult and put it in the right jar. And then they go through it and look for any scratches or any marks that would make that you might be able to indicate it's your hash. And if they think you cheated at all, like they think you scratched it or anything, they disqualify you immediately. So it's just like too many people enter full melt bubble hash at the Ego Clash for them to be transferred into different jars and stuff like that.
I think like things like Ego Clash, which is the big thing in Spain during Cannabis hash competition over there. DGC Cup, as prestigious as it is, you know, there's no monetary. Like if you win, you know, taking Tops, he finished second last year. I mean, you get your name out there, but I don't know. Maybe I'm over because I love the fam. I just, when people cheat, I hope you wouldn't. Shame on you people if you would cheat.
Hey, we've all heard about the you know, at every competition, somebody has brought their friends to fill their bucket. It's happened at every competition, every year.
Yes,
somebody tries to do it, every one of them.
I suppose. God damn it. I just can't. I'm a honor, like a warrior of honor, man. Like it's just, it doesn't have any meaning if you didn't win straight up. I watch speed, like my nerditry thing is I like to watch retro speed running. So like I speed run.
I used to speed run Mario back in the day.
Nice. Yeah. I met the kid who has the one-handed world record in Boulder, and I went to go buy a TV from him with my old roommate, and it was the most adorable thing ever because he goes, "Yeah, I got the world record in this," and I know what that means, and I go, "Holy shit, you do!" The look on his mom's face, she was like, "My son's stupid hobby that he tells me is really cool. This grown man in this driveway buying a TV from Craigslist." I was like, "Dude, you're the shit. Holy fuck, man. It's good to meet you." And his mom was like, "My son is not a phony." It was adorable.
Nice. Yeah, that's a very rare find.
Yes. And so, yeah, I love that stuff. And in it, people cheat, you know, and like, son of a bitch, like other than Twitch streaming, like there's really no monetary gain to this. So it's just like, man, where's the honor in like, just do it, man. Win to win,
so,
baby.
Let me just put a scenario out there. So if I entered, you know, like the Uncle Laser flower into the DGC Cup, and I brought a bunch of the Threes crew, and we guaranteed that I won, and then I got up there and I had the mic and I was like, "Seeds are available this right now." I just made $10,000.
All right.
That's selling 100 packs at $100 right there. There is prestige.
I'm a sucker
with winning competitions, especially competitions that's like, you know, seen as like truly a competition. Like it's pretty well judged at the Dude Grows Cup nowadays. But like, you know, if you did bring 20 or 30 people, that will hedge the bets. The winners were within like 4 votes last year. So if you brought 5 friends, you would have won.
Yeah. Fuck, what was it? Who was it? Man, there's a story. I can't remember the details. I'm too stoned right now.
Tops' wife.
It was one. Is that what it was?
Had her token left and didn't vote.
Yeah. So Tops finished 1 vote behind Dusty, and she took it as like a souvenir or something.
Yep, that's the story.
Yeah. It's funny that I couldn't remember the story. You knew exactly which story I was talking about. Ugh. But with Tops, even though it's second, that's still pretty goddamn prestigious. And the Cup videos do insanely good. It's another reason to come to the Cup. The first Cup video I made got 620,000 views. Kind of crazy. And then last year's at like 97,000 and just still cruising. Like, I don't know. People love the DGC Cup videos, man. Like, so I'm bowled over by it.
Have viewership been okay recently, or is like censorship still kind of
So
getting you guys?
this is the crazy thing. If you guys have been watching Dude Grows, I read the terms and conditions. I actually go through the community guidelines. Sometimes I'll take blocks of text and have Chat GPT interpret it for me because I'm dyslexic, but I physically go through and I find it. And I was like, hey guys, I think according to the rules, I think that we should start showing weed again. And they were like, fuck yeah, let's do it. So we started doing dank nugs. And what's going on is the AI is dinging us. We're getting age restricted, but then I'll appeal and a human reviews it and we're winning the appeals. So in 2025, some channels are more shadow banned than others. With Dude Grows, we did the what people are calling the hostage letter. This video is meant for
I saw that at the beginning where you're reading it now. Yeah.
And so we initiated that. And so maybe the rules are changing. Maybe the hostage note is working. I'm not exactly sure, chicken and egg, which it is, but it does seem that cannabis is softening in 2025. And god damn, I'm stoked to, it's like running with lead weights. I love what I do and I'm able to pay my rent, but boy, it'd be nice to not be shadow banned.
No joke, man. I lost the ability to make any money with the payment processing going down on my site just because they thought I was selling weed, even though I was just selling seeds. It's just like, and they won't.
The most legal of all of cannabis products.
Yeah.
The most legal part is the seeds, dude. It is literally a dead, and it's not dead, but it's just an inert piece of like carbon protein,
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
We'll get it.
We did it. We cruised past an hour, my friend. I talked to you. I was like, yeah, last time we didn't get to fast flower, and you're like, yeah, dude, we'll riff on that. We'll sail past it. I told you have the golden ticket. You got the Kill Tony golden ticket for Grambo Grows. Anytime you wanna, I don't book this out. Sometimes I'll talk to podcasters and I'll be like that, come on my show. And I'm like, when you book it? It's like, oh, I'm in like mid-September. And I go, I messaged you a few days ago. I messaged you hours, like I'm not the best at producing this. Shout out to Watts Growing on Instagram. He's always like, bro, can you give me your info? And I go, I can't. I don't make I sent you the lobby like an hour ago. I was like, I'm busy. I'm a single dad. I run 3 freaking cannabis channels already. I do this for fun and to hang out with the crew. And then all the Gramborg members, they were joining for $5, and all that money goes to, as Scotty says, Grambo needs a Grambo. I can't take this channel serious all by myself. LJ Jones gave away 20 gift subs today. That is insane. He's giving away 10, 5, and 5. This man is a goddamn legend. Yes, Norma G, What's Growing on Instagram. Thank you, LJ Jones. And all that money goes to get me a producer, someone locally in town that wants to make things and kind of help out with it. It'll be a blast to do that. So other than that, although there might be some sponsorship stuff coming, in the future, a very good friend of mine is doing some very, very good stuff in this world. And I told him, I was like, if you get this kite flying, I'll add some string to it, you son of a bitch. So maybe I won't be not sponsored forever, but if I ever do, it's going to be a good friend that does good work. And you are that. So go follow, once again, JLS Monster on Instagram. It's tough. You got to type it in pretty much exactly. We're all shadow banned. But you got an easy one, unlike Cortez the Conqueror, which is an impossible find. You're just JLS Monster. You can find, that's Jeremy over there. Awesome freaking breeder. Throw him a follow. He works with Threes Genetics, but that's where you can find all of his gear. Website will be up there soon, but either go to Threes Genetics Reserve or just JLS Monster to find his gear. And I recommend it. You're one of the few breeders I chose to grow, and I do not regret it at all. That was some dank stuff, my friend. So thank you.
Next time you want to grow some, just let me know. I'll give you some.
I'm into it, and I got to get some rosin from you here soon. I love Kyle, but all I have, once I run out of the diamond mine hash, all I have is Kyle. I need some variety. I need some strange.
Next time you come to Fort Collins, just let me know.
I'm there every Monday, Wednesday, baby. You know what it is.
Every day.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, go follow Jeremy. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you coming in, and I'll see you again soon.
Have a good day, man.
You the man. Thank you, guys. Special turbo thanks to LJ Jones. Seriously, my friend, 20 gift subs. That is amazing. All you guys come out, join the Gramborg. Like, had I been going to Spain, you guys would all be, I wouldn't be posting that on my main channel, but that's going to go for all the members out there. Follow me to Spain, follow me to Jug Dealers, follow me to good. I'm going to start putting together some day in the life, like a day in the life of Dude Grows. What does Grambo's day look like? Spoiler alert, it's a lot of weed and farting around. It's fun. It's fun. So join. It's $1.25 a week. It supports a good cause, and you get a bunch of great content. You got to say you knew me before I blew up. At 50, I'm gonna be famous. But I'm 42. I got 8 years to make it as a comedian. Awesome music projects coming out. I was talking with I Can THC about some music projects. I was talking about Mark from the Adam Dunn Show about a little music project, a little cannabis music project. What's happening? I don't know. Join the Gramborg and find out. Subscribe if you vibe. Smoke that like button. You guys know what it is. I see in other people's channel. I see you guys saying smoke that like button. That's out there. Spread that out there. That's me. Smoke that like button. Subscribe if you vibe. And once again, we are all shadow banned. Share this video. Share. I can't help. I'm jealous of Dude Grows. Every week, you guys share Dude Grows so much. Share the Grambo Grows show. This was a good one. Support me and Jeremy. It was awesome. Smoke that like button. My man. Grab it hard. Grab it hard and like it. That's what I tell my girlfriend. Grab it hard and like it. And subscribe, I say to her. As soon as I orgasm, I just go, subscribe. That's what I do. Tops. Love you, brother. Shout out. Finished second in the DGC Cup. Taking Tops is going to be running the hash batch at the DGC Cup. DGCcup.com. Get your tickets. We don't make a dime. It's another one of those things. Brett don't make a dime on the damn DGC Cup. It is so expensive. Like, literally, he's waiting to see how many tickets get sold before he finalizes the tent. Should we get a 700-foot square tent? Should we get 1,000? I don't know the square footage, but he has no clue. It's literally day to day flying. What should we do? Every week they have a meeting about it. It's awesome what Brett and Banner. It's all Brett and Banner. Jeff and Brett, the dude and Banner over there. So don't message me or Scott about the cup. We know nothing about it. I always tell people I'm just an attendee. I just show up. But I'm going to be there with the Kansas cutie, my girlfriend. If you're ever curious about who she is, come meet us there. I met her at the cup last year. So she's going to be my queen, the prince and princess of the Dude Grows Cup. We'll be rolling around. Cannabis Vibe grabbed his there. Stoked to meet you, buddy. And speaking of Cannabis Vibe, he made the theme song. Guys, I appreciate you. Smoke that like button. Subscribe if you vibe. And roll this video up and pass it to a friend. My name's Josh Grambo. I'm high on Lemon G. Got the adrenaline pumping. Let's go to bed. Good night. Love y'all. Bye.
We're dropping knowledge on Grambo Grows, talking about plants and how they go. Let's go. From seeds to the cure, we always smoke pure.